Right, this is all about heart disease and what can cause heart disease, and we're looking about lifestyle choices that can cause heart disease. And when we're talking about heart disease, we're talking about either a blood vessel becoming blocked, or we can talking about a small blood vessel actually bursting. And the first choice I can make, which might affect the chance of getting heart disease, is having too much saturated fat in my diet. That's too much butter, that's too much lard, that's too much fried chicken. Saturated fat, an example of that is cholesterol. So if I have too much saturated fat in my diet, then I can start getting blockages across my artery, and those little blockages are called plaque. And eventually, if it becomes too blocked, I get a blood clot, and that's called thrombosis. And that's when my artery becomes fully blocked, and that will increase the chance of having a heart attack. So the next thing that can increase the risk of heart disease is too much salt. Too much salt. If I have too much salt in my diet, my body retains more water. And if it retains more water, then my heart has to pump a greater volume of blood, and this increases my blood pressure, which increases the risk of having heart disease. Right, the third thing that can cause heart disease is smoking, and there are two things in cigarettes which can cause heart disease. The first thing is nicotine. Now, nicotine makes my heart beat faster. It also helps to narrow my arteries, and both of these things cause my blood pressure to go up, and that's not a good thing. The other thing that cigarettes produce when they burn is carbon monoxide. And what carbon monoxide does is it binds with red blood cells, and that means that the red blood cells, they can't carry oxygen, and that's a bad thing too. And both of those things can contribute to heart disease. Right, and the last thing we're going to talk about in terms of causing heart disease is having a high blood pressure. And we've already talked about this already. We've said that salt, too much salt, causes high blood pressure. And we've already said that smoking causes high blood pressure. But you also need to remember that high amounts of alcohol, being overweight, and having high levels of stress also cause high blood pressure. And what happens if you have high blood pressure, it may cause small blood vessels like capillaries to burst, and that's not a good thing.